Joining me now is Chase Iron Eyes. He's an attorney at the Lakota People's Law Project. Welcome to the program.
Very happy to be here.
We're glad for you to be here. So I want to start by sort of giving some context. This is only the second year that Indigenous Peoples Day is being observed as a federal holiday, especially for an international audience. Could you talk about the significance of this?
It is much like the mass graves that are being uncovered at the Christian church institutions where unspeakable horrors happen. You know, to call them schools is a euphemism. And nationwide, worldwide, Indigenous nations are starting to tell their truths, and people have no choice but to listen. In this country, in America, it is still the written policy and unwritten policy to erase, to absorb, to colonize, to delegitimize, and subjugate Indigenous nations, to deny to us our right to self-determination and our right to liberation, to determine our own destiny. So to have the country being forced to come to grips with its multinational, pluralistic identity is the only way that we can go. There is no progress without struggle. And we have to tell the truth about this country, because this country was not designed by Indigenous peoples or Indigenous nations. It wasn't designed by the descendants of the transatlantic slave trade. This country was designed by white males. You take a look at George Floyd, take a look at the repealing of Roe versus Wade. This country does not respect anybody except the Christian white male. And that's by design, and it's doing exactly what it was designed to do. So this is a small step. Just having us tell our truths is a small step to bringing about justice, equity, conciliation, and reconciliation. I'm encouraged that we are evolving.
It's encouraging indeed, Chase, but I suppose the question many people ask us, you know, these stories that we heard, especially what we heard in the report, these atrocities, these truths that you're saying, why is it they're only coming out now, still so little known and so little talked about?
In this country, in America, we are swept under the rug. We are hidden from America because we are the evidence of their sins. We are the righteous and legal landholders of this entire country. We were not conquered by the United States or by America. We beat them in battle, and then they signed treaties with us. But as soon as they convinced us to sign treaties, they were able to attempt to try to absorb us. So they have to deny us our nationhood because they don't hold clear title to this land except through the treaties, the internationally binding agreements that our grandfathers and grandmothers authorized and that we signed into.
Chase, we have less than a minute left, but I really have to ask this because symbolism aside, campaigners, activists want this holiday to be coupled also with action. So what can the federal government do to better address the past injustice and going forward better the lives of Indigenous peoples?
I'm coming to all of your audience from our holy land, our Mecca, and what the United States can do besides eliminating its own racism that's baked into the fabric of this country, the anti-Asian sentiments, the anti-Arabic sentiment in this country, but they can start to give us our land back. The federal lands in the Black Hills of what is now called South Dakota, where Mount Rushmore, the shrine of democracy, stands, belongs to us. And this country can begin to give land back and make reparations for those unspeakable atrocities. And we will continue to work toward that end.
Chase Iron Eyes is an attorney at the Lakota People's Law Project. We thank you so much for your insight into this very important topic.
Thank you very much.